4. That's it. Geez, about 7 or 8 years ago, I had a student who came to me and wanted to learn Fire and Rain by James Taylor. I thought, no big deal. I'm sure I can figure out Fire and Rain. So unfortunately, I didn't start off by transcribing the part. I went around and looked at different tabs and lessons and things that were out there on the internet. Everything I looked at ultimately turned out to be wrong. How do you know if it's wrong? Okay, here's a fundamental thing when you're learning to play a song that exists. Bonar's rule is this: when you try to learn a song to cover it, begin by learning the song in such a manner that you can play along with the record and it sounds like you're playing the same thing, as close as you can get, okay? The reason is because a lot of songs like this are written by someone who's a very, very accomplished musician. It is you do want to make sure that you learn everything that James Taylor, as a guitar teacher, has to teach you. So the only way you can do that is learn to play what sounds exactly like what he is playing. So what you're listening to here and what you're about to learn is, as best as my ears can tell me, this is exactly what he's playing on the record. He's playing it in standard tuning with the capo on 3. I hope you have fun. So I'm going to go through detailed measure by measure, okay? First measure is, so this is all with capo on 3. First measure is this barred A chord. We're just doing a slide in of a partial A. Very simple. The only detail is the slide in on the G string. Now we're going to slide down 2 frets to go to the G, and our bass note changes to the E, the low E measure. It ends with a pickup note leading us into the D chord, so it goes. Okay, and then in the next measure, here's the tricky thing. James Taylor's fancy grip of the D chord. He's using the pointer, and he does the same thing when we're playing hammer-ons and pull-offs on the A chord as well. He positions the chord like this so that it's easy to do these hammer-ons and pull-offs that he uses a lot of in here. So here's the D chord in measure 3. This is the stuff I'm doing in measures 3, 4, and 5. This is a close-up of these strange grips. So this is a D chord. Okay, here's the close-up of the D chord, and he's hammering on with the pointer here. And so here's the, I'll play the coming into it. Okay, here we are at the beginning of measure 2. And then we're doing this onto the A. And then measure 4 is where it gets interesting. Okay, so that's close-ups. Hopefully you can see the mechanics of what the left hand is doing in that. Let me back up. I'll go back to measure 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's measure 4 again with the A. Well, I'll use this take for measure 4. The thing I want you to pay attention to is the extensive use of the open E string ringing. That's the drone note. That's what gives this chime its sound. Okay, all that open A. Now we're into measure 5, which is just a continuation of that. Now we're going down to this E, a very simplified bare bones E. And there's a little trick at the end of this when we switch to the G majors part. Then we're just our open E and open D. Now we do a quick hit here on the G, and the note that we're holding down, this A that we're holding down on the G string, I'm speaking in note names relative to the capo. This could be a note being played on the piano, but all I know is that if I don't play it, it doesn't sound right. But you have to take this finger off the G string right away. So here's what happens next. I'll play. Here's measure 6. Then open E and open D. Then we do this pair of notes. It's sort of a partial chord with a G and an A. Play it like this. Sorry, there it is. And then right away you take that finger off the G string, because the next arpeggiated sequence we're playing in the next measure, in measure 7, is this. That takes us to the end. Okay, so I'm going to play measures 6, 7, and 8 together so you can hear that flow. And that takes us into the regular verse. Okay, so there you go. There's Fire and Rain, as best I can figure it out. If you play these notes, you should be able to play along with the record and have your notes match up exactly. Again, what you decide to do with it after that point is up to you. I hope you have fun. Please subscribe to the channel if you're having fun. There's tons of lessons on here that cover a bunch of different things. I'm Bonner, and I'll talk to you soon.